about the inference of the song there. I mean the first song, okay, on the endless love. And then I will just now want you to know more about what is the inference and the ways to make the inference or to draw a conclusion on the reading passage you are reading. Okay, so from the first slide here you can see that where I just said making inferences with textual evidence. Textual, what does mean text? Hey, what do you say? Okay, so it's just like when you read something in terms of reading passages, you have to be able to draw a conclusion. Okay, apart from getting the main idea of the whole passage. First of all, after reading the passage, you have to get the whole idea that we talk about what the main idea or the topic, right? So after you get the topic and the main idea, you have to look for something more hidden behind in the reading passage there, right? Something or some ideas that the author are trying to convey to you, but they cannot say them directly. You get that right? So they just say them or put them somewhere else in the reading passage for you to elicit. What does it mean, elicit? Elicit or extract. What does it mean? You yourself and the readers, you have to extract some ideas hidden behind the reading passages. Extract, this means extract. E-X-T-R-A-C-T. Extract, this means. How about elicit? Elicit. 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 E-L-I-C-I-T. To elicit, to extract. This one. No. This means to extract. Or it means to elicit. This one. In Thai, what do you say? ดึงออกมา Okay, right? When you extract, the fire, it means that you remove them out. Okay, so this is for the term to extract or to elicit. In Thai, to draw out. Okay, so for some time, for some time, if the authors they do not want to tell you something, obviously or directly. They just put their idea behind the passage. They put their idea in terms of the hidden ideas, because they cannot say things directly. So when the author do something like that, you yourself as the readers, you have to be able to elicit. Okay? You have to able to elicit what the author are hiding from you. Okay? That's we call the inference. You are making inference. Okay? But anyway, when making the inference there, everything must be based on the evidence in the reading passage only. You get that right? So let's see, here we go now. The first slide, is that, what? Making inferences, it means the same as drawing conclusion. Do you know drawing conclusion, right? In Thai, you say, สรุป. So, we make inferences all the time, whether we realize it or not. It means that, when you, get up in the morning, until you go to bed, at night, during the day, from the start until the end of the day, you, are doing something, with the inferences, all the time, right? Suppose that, when you get up, and you want to know how, what is what the best way that I can go to school? Do I have to take this? Do I have to take that car or whatever, right? You are what concerning with inferences, what unintentionally. Okay, so good readers make inferences by reading. You understand it, right? Good readers make inferences by reading. When we predict, the word predict, right? What will happen next? Okay, right? You read, and then you think about it, and then you try, to predict, hey, what will happen next from this? What should, be something like that, hidden in the passage or somewhere, right? So, while reading, when we predict what will happen next, or ask yourself, why character is behaving a certain way. Suppose that, you watch a play, a soap opera, on Channel 3, or GMM channel, or channel 4 or channel 8. You may see that, all the time, the actors, the hero, the heroines, or the concubine. You know what concubine, right? Concubine, what does it mean? Okay. Do you like watching the soap operas on channel 3? The soap opera, what does it mean? The soap opera is something like the drama, right? Very idiot drama. Like that in there is a couple, a husband and wife, and then one day work. A husband first with the other girl, and then trying to sleep with that girl, and then when his wife found out that she tried to go to slap the concubine and trying to blah blah blah, something like that. And the story ends up with what? With the happy ending again. And the couple live together happily, something like that. Okay, so what does it mean? Soap opera. ละครนำเน่า Okay, SOAP. So it meansสบู่ in Thai, right? And opera, OPERA. Okay, OPERA. So opera. What? I don't like it. I hate it. But I prefer to watch the soap opera official on GMM channel. Pichot, right? Okay, they try to let you consult them for your family problem or something like that. That becomes what the soap opera. Okay, so when you watch a drama, a series, or whatever, you have to make inference also. Hey, what would the heroine in her life at the end of the drama here? Hey, what does the actor want to tell me, or something like that. Okay, so that is the way you make inferences while watching drama, and at the same time the same as when you read something in your notebook, in your textbook here. Some part of the reading passages are left understood. Some part, cannot be said, directly by the author or by the writer. So, it's your duty to make an inference in order, to find out, what the author is telling you here, right? You get that, right? So, an inference, is an educated guess. So, what does it mean? It is an educated guess. Do you know the word guess? Right? So educated guess, what does it mean? Right? When you guess, what the author is telling you here, you have to make use the evidences, in the passage there. Okay? You might not use your own past experiences, but not all. Okay? The best way to make inference means that when you read the passage here, and you have to think a lot, and you have to come up with the idea, hey, what happened here? Hey, there are many, many scenes, many, characters here, and what should it be then? Something like this. Okay, so this is, actually the evidences you have, to rely on when making an inference. You get that right? And if you cannot, you still, cannot, know the real meaning of this information. You just, think of your past experiences. Hey, last year I went to Paris, and then I encountered, something like, the COVID-19, phenomena there, and then blah, 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 what's happened. So you use your own, past experience in understanding, some point that the author, cannot, tell you directly here, right? This is the way to make, an inference by yourself. So it is, actually, an educated guess. But does it mean that educated guess? It means that you have to guess, with reasons. Okay? You have to rely on reasons in guessing that you are making an inference. Okay? That we make based on what we see or while reading the information provided in the text combined with our own experiences. Okay? I should say that you might use your own experiences, but not, all 100%. Okay? Just rely on the evidences, in the reading passage only. You get that right? Okay? And then after that, how about, the first picture here? What do you see, from the first picture here? Snowman. Okay? So, can you give me, two inferences? What can you infer from this picture? What? The
winter is over because the snow is melted out.
Okay, good. Good. Because why? I'm not sad. When you see something, hey, this is actually the snowman, right? And what part of snowman? It's just, a head of snowman. So what can you infer from this? Hey, I think, the snowman is melting down, right? So your inference is that, the winter is going to be over, right? It is the end of the winter season, okay? And how about number two? How about number two? How about the second inference? How about number two? What can you infer from this? What? Again, please. Is this almost spring? It's the same and not same, right? Winter is going to be over. Okay. What else? The second one. The second one, the second inference, you might say, hey, what?
The snowman is gonna be a water in the future.
Exactly. It is going, going to melt down, right? Or you can infer number one, what the winter is going to be over, right? And how about number two, in terms of the weather? What can you say about the weather then? Right? You should infer that, hey, I think around here, the weather, becomes hotter and hotter, right? Warmer and warmer, and that's why, the snowman here is going to melt down. Okay? One more. I got, from Iceland 1 and Iceland 2. They gave me one more inference, very good.
difference about? What is the neck difference is about?
What?
What is the neck difference is about?
I don't know. Up to you. So up to you. What do you say? Number one, about the weather, right? The weather, work, blah blah blah. And number two, about the season. And number three.
Take away the kids that fill up the snowman because the adult don't pay as snow. So that way I keep to fill it.
Can you give me the good reason for this? It's okay.
Because adult is old and they go to work, but kid is paid. So when they want to return, the kid is bringing a snowman.
Listen here. So, from not recommendation, not saying here, I think it might be wrong. Why? Because I myself, as an adult, I might, love to be with snowman, like my kids, right? Right? So, what should be the best one, the third one here? How about the third one? In terms of, the guy or the girl or a person who made this snowman, what can we infer about him or her? What? What? Can you see the face of snowman? What does this look like? What does it look like?
Feel so happy.
No, it's not a difference.
She would tell us about a couple build a snowman becauseอะไรนะก็คือที่คนรักที่รักสองคนสร้างสโนว์แมนเป็นพยานรักกันดี
You should say the couple, not the couple. Okay, couple. No. What? Right? So what can we infer? So what can we infer about this? No. No. You have to think about a boy or a person who makes this snowman. You have to think about him or her.
The boy that build this snowman is feel so very happy.
What? No. So what should it be then? So how about him or her?
มาไปบริเวณแล้วก็ไปโดนแล้วก็จะเขียนว่าอันตรายใช่เชื่อกูมา
How about you just say moving?
น้องไม่ได้เป็นหมีเหรอ
No. No.
อันนี้คือกูจะให้ของเฟิร์นที่แบบคนที่สั่งขึ้นมาจะเป็นผู้ใด
Right?
ไม่เกี่ยวกับ
So what could you infer? No. we cannot know that, right? So what should it be then, the third one? In terms of, a person who make it. We cannot know that. That's not an inference. We cannot know. That's beyond, beyond the evidence here. No.
เกี่ยวกับว่าเกี่ยวไปนอกที่เดินมาที่โลกไปนอก
Because he said that, what the face of snowman looks like, in dark. That's it. So, how could you infer, from this information he gave you?
like a dog you can build the snowman the space like a dog
So you should say,
say something
you should say that, a person who made this snowman is
is a dog
right, is a dog lover. That's it. That's it. That's why, he built this snowman, look like, a dog face. Right? You get that right? Okay. Okay, let's move to the second picture here. How can you infer? Okay, there was, there is a bike on top, and then the guy lying, under his bike, and there are, two pillars here. So, the first inference is that
this is
you cannot know it is from.
teacher is like a picture that the street is soลื่นไหลsoลื่น when the boy like bicycle is ตกลงครับ
So what should you say then?
เขาขี่จักรยานในหน้าหนาวบนถนนที่ลื่นแล้วก็ตกลง
So what should you say? He might have an
accident
accident, right? That should be the first one. How about the second one? The second one is that the road might be slippery. Good. Okay. The road might be slippery. That's why the guy here, what had an accident. And then the third one. The third one.
the boy has to sleep on the street
No. Impossible, for that, right? The third one.
I don't know what that is
What?
มึงไปนั่งเพื่อนครูเรียกไปนั่งเพื่อน
How about the third one then?
แสดงความเร็ว
What?
boy get injured
Can you get the third one? The guy here. Okay, so from this picture, 5/1 and 5/2, they told me that the third inference might be that the guy here is an acrobat. You know the word acrobat? Right. That's why he tried, to show us here, hey, he can carry, the bike, on top of him, and at the same time, he blah 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 something like it might be, okay, it might be. If he wants, to show that, he is an acrobat on the slippery road, okay. But if something, might be impossible, right? You get that right? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, let's move on here. In terms of the passage, that's what the inference from the picture, from the diagram. And in terms of the passage, or we call textual evidence. Okay, so in terms of textual evidence here, it is what this specific information from the text that we use to support our inferences. This for your reading, right? So while reading, you have to think about the inference, more and more. I mean, apart from thinking about what the superficial meaning that the author is telling you here, right? And they say that we use textual evidence to prove that our inferences are logical and accurate. What does it mean, logical? Can you give me the synonym of the word logical here? Logical. It means the same as the word logic. It means what reason. How about logical? The adjective of the word reason. Reasonable. Okay. So it means that your inferences should be number one, reasonable, or logical. And then number two, they should be accurate. Do you know the word accurate? Right? Okay? You have to rely on the evidence in passage in order to get the accurate and logical. Like what? Inferences. Is that right? Okay, let's practice here. I give you 2 minutes to read. And try to give me the inferences from this. The passage said that one Kyle ran into his house, slamming the door behind him. Okay? He ran into his house and slamming the door behind him. He threw his book bag on the floor and propped on the couch. And as he sounds of praying Grand Lassini this summer, he ate some pizza and fell asleep with a slice in all his belly. Okay? And his feet on his book bag. When Kai came home from school the next day, he was noticeably distraught. He bought up his report card and placed it inside a soup can in the garbage. Get that right? And then he flipped the soup can upside down and relocated garbage from other parts of the can. Arranging over the soup can, he then plopped down on the couch and picked up his controller. So, how about the inferences from this? Number one, how about Kai?
Kai is a lazy game boy.
Exactly good. He is a very lazy boy. Okay, can you give me the evidence of that?
Because when he come to his home and he started to eat and he eat pizza, right? And he fell asleep with a slash pizza on his belly, like he don't use the plate. He just used his belly to place the pizza.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, how about number two? What? Okay, he got bad grade. Okay. How about the evidence? Get that right? When he just came back from school, and then I got just one from English course, and then 1.5 from physics, and then 1.5 again from biology course. Hey, I don't like it. I just throw it away, right? Okay. So how can you infer about this? About the feeling of Kai. Okay, he got bad press, and then he feel. How did he feel? Right? He feels disappointed. Okay, he feels disappointed. Right? How about the evidence, to support this? Like, Jenny said, he threw the report card away in the garbage bin, right? And even, in the soup can, right? Okay, what else? What else?
Kai probably bad at time limit because he paid 6 hours of game in a row.
Kai what?
Kai was bad at time limit because if you are good at time limit, you won't pay a 6 hour of game.
You can say, in the other way. Can you say it in another way? Right? And the influence. So whether you were keep, you were kind, and you keep, praying, the computer game, for 6 hours, 7 hours a day. So it means that, you are addicted to the games, right? And that you, further influence, you do not like to study, right? That's it. That's it. That's why you spend, more time for games playing instead of, reading your books, right? You get it? Okay, good. You get this right? Okay, how about this passage? When the Lord stood in the doorway and looked around, he could see nothing but the great prairie on every side. Not a tree nor a house roamed the broad sweep of flat country that reached to the edge of the sky in all directions. The sun has baked the plowed land into a gray mass with little cracks running through it. Even the grass was not green, for the sun had burned the tops of the long branches until they were the same gray color to be seen everywhere. Once the house has been painted, but the sun blistered the paint, and the rains washed it away, and now the house was as dark and gray as everything else. So what should be the first influence? Is what? No. No. What should be the first one? How about, the atmosphere? Okay, Kai was or is. Kai was bored or then bored. What do you say in English? What who? Depressed, right? Kai was depressed. You know what? More than bored. Okay, what else?
It's very hot because the gas is not clean and the forehead was a mess.
You get it right? The evidences here show that the prairie here is not green, but the sun makes it green. The sun makes it brown. So what does it mean then? It means that the sun is very fierce. Okay, the sun is very fierce. It is very hot this time. Okay, you get that right? What else? What else? What else? One more. What else? Good. Right. This house, you can say that, it might be or it is actually a deserted house. You know deserted? Deserted, you know that? How do you spell deserted? Deserted. So deserted house, what does it mean then? Background. Okay? Good. So this house, might be deserted, for a long time. Right? And nobody, came here to take care of it. Okay? Okay, one more. Good. One more. In terms of, the painting of the house.
The sun bleached the color of the house and the rain. สีไม่ต่างกันสีฟ้า
So, what can you infer from this?
No one take care about this color of this home.
Now,
must be disappointed because he made all the how in the color, but after he did the paint, the red was made to the cake.
now.
ผู้เข้าย้อนกลับไป
Very sorry. About the paint. Okay, infer about the paint.
In the once the house had been hit by the sun mist, the rain and the rain was the rain. And now the house was alone and rain คือบ้านเหมือนกับจะแบบดูแบบปีกาทั้งศีรษะ
So, right? How can you infer about the paint?
สูแสงเขาฟิวสูแสงเขาสูแสง
What? Right? About the paint. How would you infer about the paint? Good. So it means that the paint, is not. You say Thai town, right? So you to say, the color. The color is what? Is not. Is not. Long lasting. Right? That's why, after a while, after, a few years, the paint, what? Blister, from the house. Right? By who? By the sun. And if the paint, is long lasting, you don't have, to repaint it. I mean the house, as a whole. Right? You get that? This is, inference. Okay, any questions, about this? Good. You have a good guesses. Okay. Sorry. Okay, this one, state direction, when you read the plays, when you read, what the drama is in the same as, when you read, what a reading passage. That's all, for that. And this, slide, just try, to provide you more with, some points. When you want, to get, the inferences, the accurate inferences. So, you have, to focus on what? On the theme. On the theme, of the passage you are reading. So, you have, like when you listen, to the endless love song, you have, to tell yourself, hey, the theme of this song, is about love. right? It's about love. What kind of love? Forever love. Okay? Endless. It means, what? Non-stop. Infinite. Right? Less, it means, without end. Okay? So, number one, you have to focus on, the theme, love. Okay? When you read, the passage or the song. Number two, anger. What's in anger? Angry. You have to try to think about the feeling of the author, the feeling of the singer, right? When you listen, to the songs, something like that. Okay, good. And then jealousy. What does it mean, jealous? Right. Okay. Desperation. When you feel, desperate. When you feel, desperate, you don't like, to do things. You like, to give up all. Right? Good. Desperation, ความสิ้นหวัง. So desperation here means the same as disappointment. Good. Okay. Or mean the same as hopelessness. Okay. Hopeless must mean hopeless. Without hope, right? Hopelessness, หมดหวัง Okay? And then fear, กลัว something like that. Okay? This is the way, to make an inference. So to wrap up, it means that, when you read, many passages, you have, to think more. Okay? Apart from, getting the main idea of the passage, getting, the topic, the main idea, and you find out more about, specific information, you have, to think further in depth in order, to elicit the hidden information, what, hidden by the author, right? That we call, an inference. Okay, you get that right? Any questions then? Okay, good. So, let's turn to, the second song here. Okay.